fables and sounds of the Nigerian stories. Àrọ́bá ní bàbá ìtàn. Ọmọdé ò bá tàn, á bá àrọ́bá. Nigerian Folktales.
Once upon a time, in a small village in the Hausa Kingdom, there lived a married couple, Danjuma and Halima. Danjuma was a hunter, while Halima was a trader. She sold jewelries and clothes in the market. They were successful in their businesses, for they were well known in the entire village. Everyone in that village was of the opinion that Danjuma and Halima had been blessed by Allah with everything anyone could ever wish for, because they had great possessions and children, even though they were only boys. At least it shows that Halima is fruitful, her mother-in-law once said. But Halima was not satisfied. She wished she had a daughter because she felt that a girl will be more helpful than the boys in doing house chores. Moreover, she'll be adorned with beautiful clothes and jewelries.
Oh, how I wish I had a beautiful nyarinya. If I had a daughter, at least she'll keep my company while I cook. She'll wear beautiful zainis and jewelries. Oh, how I wish,
she thought to herself. Halima got pregnant again, but she gave birth to another bouncing baby boy. Everyone around was happy and they all rejoiced except Halima.
Yarrow again?
She thought, irritated with herself. Her husband Danjuma, as though reading her thoughts, said to her,
Halima, Allah has blessed us again with another wonderful child. You should accept your fate as the mother of boys. Perhaps Allah has destined for you to have only boys. Let's leave it at that. Accept our fate and be thankful to Allah.
Her husband admonished her. Not minding her husband's words, this matter still disturbed Halima's mind greatly. She took care of her newborn son for some months, and once he became stable on his little feet, the thought to have a baby girl came to her mind again. And so, out of desperation to have a daughter, she consulted a native priest who gave her some herbs and charms. But then, the priest gave a stern warning.
Woman, 9 months from now, you shall give birth to the daughter you seek. But you must remember this. You must not choose for her who to marry, for when the time is right, she shall choose for herself. And when that one comes, you must not hesitate to allow her to marry that one. Do you agree with this condition or not?
I agree. Just let me have a baby girl as promised. I promise to keep to the agreement, Fa,
she replied. In her desperation to have a daughter, she couldn't understand that the covenant she was entering into at the time was a very dangerous one. Or at least, she wasn't bothered about the consequences, for nothing else mattered. And so it was that 9 months later, true to the priest's words, Halima gave birth to a beautiful baby girl. Halima was overwhelmed with happiness, for she thought to herself,
At last, now I have a nyarinya. Finally, my dream has come true. Oh, how fortunate I am to have this child.
So she named her daughter Maimuna. Oh, how beautiful Maimuna was as a baby. She was so adorable, even as a toddler. Everyone around her truly loved her, for she was special. She wasn't like every other girl her age because she was very beautiful. Soon, Maimuna grew into an extremely beautiful lady. She was a cynosure of all eyes. Everyone in that village admired her beauty. All the men in that village wished they could marry her now that she is ripe for marriage. Suitors began to come to her parents to ask for her hand in marriage. The first person to come to her parents with a marriage proposal was her father's friend. His son, Danladi, had informed him of his interest in Maimuna. But when Danjuma informed Halima about this, she humbly explained to her husband the reason they won't be able to choose a man for her.
Hey, what have you done?
He exclaimed. It was then it dawned on her that what she had agreed to some years back might not be a fair deal after all. Unknown to her, this was just the beginning. More suitors came after that day. The handsome, the rich and wealthy, the common and simple, the influential. But Maimuna rejected them all. Her parents were distraught because they couldn't do anything about it. One day, on Maimuna's way to the market, someone caught her attention. It was a man. A very, 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 very handsome man. This was a first for her because no man in that village had ever gotten Maimuna's attention in the way this stranger did. He looked quite different from every other man she had been seeing in that village. It was love at first sight, for she thought to herself,
Why do I feel this way? No man has ever affected me in this manner. Why do I feel a strong pull towards this man? How I wish he could but speak to me.
And as though reading her thoughts, this young, handsome-looking man approached Maimuna.
Son Dezua, beautiful
He
Nyarinya.
said in salutations to Maimuna. One could see a beautiful bright smile appear on Maimuna's face in response to the man's greetings.
My name is Hassan,
He continued.
and I've come from far away to do business in this village. May I know your name?
Maimuna!
She blurted.
My name is Maimuna.
She felt so shy before this man.
So, he is not from this village. No wonder he looks very different.
Maimuna thought to herself again.
How can I get to see you again?
She asked him.
Let this be our meeting spot, under that tree.
Hassan replied, pointing to a tree around them. When Maimuna got home, she excitedly narrated her experience earlier that day. She told her mother that she thinks she has finally met the one that is going to be her husband. The instant she mentioned the one, Halima's mind flashed back to the priest's exact words some years ago. And she knew that the time she had dreaded for a while had finally come. The next day, Maimuna went to the meeting spot she and Hassan had agreed on the previous day. And when she didn't see him on time,
Leo,
She started singing.
Malio, da malio, 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 da malio dawa, malio, kaje inane, malio, kaje ilori, malio, yoshizaka dao, malio, sewo tangobe, malio, gobe da labari, malio, jivi da labare, malio, da malio, 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 da malio nawa, malio.
Before she was done singing, she saw Hassan walking towards her. They were both delighted to see each other again. So Hassan told Maimuna that he'd like to meet her parents because he wants to marry her. How elated Maimuna was when she heard these words come out of Hassan's mouth. And so she took him to her parents as a matter of urgency, then introduced him as the man she had chosen to marry. Her father tried to advise her against marrying him, explaining that he was too perfect to be real. Moreover, they barely know him or any member of his family. But she didn't care, for she had made up her mind already. Her mother, Halima, didn't say anything because she understood what was going on. Sooner than expected, the marriage rites were conducted between Hassan and Maimuna, to the amazement of the entire village. Immediately after the marriage ceremony, the couple were set to embark on their journey to Hassan's hometown. With lots of gifts and many sad goodbyes, especially from Halima, Maimuna's mother, their journey began. After they had journeyed for a while, Maimuna asked Hassan if they were getting closer to their destination.
Not yet. You know I told you I come from far away,
he replied. At that point, Hassan told his new wife that they wouldn't be needing the camel and the donkey, but they will have to walk on foot thereon. They walked on for a while when Hassan suddenly stopped. Minini, what's the matter? Why have you suddenly stopped? Asked Maimuna. Hassan burst into laughter and replied,
This is our destination.
This took Maimuna by surprise. She looked around, observing that there was no hut and no human in sight. All she could see were grasses and few trees, and suddenly she became afraid. But before she could turn around to ask what they were doing in the middle of nowhere, Hassan had turned into a very big snake. Terrified, Maimuna screamed on top of her lungs, but there was no one to come to her rescue. What a tragedy. The end.